Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have very big news to share regarding the ghost candidate scheme that Republicans ran down in Florida. For anyone who's new here, anyone who's forgotten about this scandal, I'll just summarize what took place and where everything stands. So, shortly after the 2020 election, it came to light that Republicans have recruited and, in some cases, paid people to run for state office as progressive Democrats. They did this in order to siphon votes away from the real Democrat in the race. So the people who ran were not Democrats at all. In fact, they were Republicans in many cases, and they switched their party affiliation to independent right before they submitted their documentation to run for office. So these people didn't campaign. They refused media interviews. They basically hid out. They had very suspicious donations deposited into their campaign accounts. Oftentimes, some of the people that were listed as donors had no idea that a donation had been made in their name. So journalists would go find these people and say, "Hey, why did you donate to this person?" They're like, "I don't know who that is." So one candidate, it was a woman named Justine Iannotti. She actually fled the country after she lost, and it's believed because she wanted to avoid scrutiny. So ultimately, it was revealed that Republicans were behind all of this, and they spent large sums of money, like almost $1 million, creating and sending out mailers to try to convince voters that these candidates were more progressive, that they were the better choice. So again, the whole point was, I'm an independent, I'm going to be on the ballot with the Republican and the Democrat, but I'm a Democrat, I'm, the true Democrat, the progressive Democrat, and so let me take your votes away from the other Democrat in the race. There's also some evidence that Florida's largest utility company is tied to all of this. It's called Florida Power and Light. So they, of course, want to stop the move to renewable energy because they're greedy bastards. They know Republicans will do their bidding, so of course they don't want Democrats to win. So Florida Power and Light's shareholders are actually suing the company right now because of their alleged involvement in all of this. And in one instance, this fake candidate scheme actually did work. I mean, the Republicans won all the races, but there was one in particular where it was very clear that had that third party, had that third candidate not been running, the Republican wouldn't have won. There was a Republican candidate named Ileana Garcia. She was the beneficiary of this. She was elected as a result of this ghost candidate scheme. That's what they call it, a ghost candidate. And here's the thing. This isn't illegal. The only thing that makes it illegal is if this person is paid, if they're secretly paid to run, because then it's considered to be a campaign finance violation. So it eventually came out that there's this former disgraced Republican lawmaker, a guy named Frank Artiles. He had in fact paid a man over $45,000 to run against Garcia's Democratic opponent. So Artiles was arrested in April of 2021. He is going to trial in June of this year, barring, a plea deal or something else. And the man he paid to run is cooperating with the authorities. He will be testifying and telling the jury, yes, this was the whole plan. This was the whole point. He paid me. Well, now, thanks to public records request, we know that a Republican operative has admitted to giving Artiles the green light to do this whole scheme, to put this whole thing in motion. So here's part of what he said in his deposition with the prosecutor.
He and I had talked about independent candidates and recruiting independent candidates. He said he thought that was something he could do and do well. Great. Go knock yourself out.
So the man you heard answering the questions is Patrick Bainter. I've mentioned him before. He's a political consultant. He works with the Florida Senate Republicans, and he confirmed that he transferred $100,000 to this dark money group that's controlled by Artiles, and for this purpose. But Bainter is saying, oh, I had no idea what he was going to do with it. I had no idea how Artiles spent the money. I didn't give him any direction about what to do with it. He was just going to go out and find these third-party candidates. So Bainter learned the hard way that, Artiles is a loose cannon. He found out the guy can't keep his mouth shut, which is how this whole thing started to unravel, because this Artiles guy got drunk at a party celebrating one of these people winning, and he was shooting his mouth off at this party. So anyway, Bainter finds out, like I said, that this guy just is not going to keep his mouth shut. He is just not someone you can trust. So check this out.
I learned from other people on the ground in Miami that Mr. Artiles, it's my words, not theirs or even his for that matter, was at least suggesting to people that he had been hired to, quote, run the campaigns down there.
The reason Bainter was so bothered by that was because he and Artiles had a non-disclosure agreement. And Bainter said he didn't want to fire Artiles when he found all of this out because he didn't want to create any drama, but he started to back away from him. He started to distance himself at that point. So now we know how this ball got rolling, and we also now know that Florida Republicans blocked an investigation into this election fraud. As you see on your screen, the Orlando Sentinel just reported, quote, "The General Counsel for the Federal Elections Commission found reason to believe campaign laws were broken during Florida's 2020 ghost candidate scandal. But Republicans on the election panel blocked the probe from continuing," newly released documents reveal. So the documents show that there was a complaint filed by a nonprofit watchdog group, and they said, we believe there were campaign finance violations, we believe these were ghost candidates, blah, blah, blah. The 3 Democrats who were on this elections commission wanted to investigate, but of course, the 3 Republican commissioners, because it's a 50-50 commission, they did not. They were like, no, we're not going to do this. And unfortunately, there has to be a consensus. You have to have at least 4 members who agree in order to open an investigation. So the 3 Republican commissioners wrote in their explanation, quote, "The evidence for the wide-ranging conspiracy the complaint alleges is exceedingly thin." And quote, "We are forbidden from invoking the powers of the federal government based on drive-by analysis or mere insinuation." And then they actually said that the people being accused completely deny the allegations. So, they must be telling the truth. I mean, oh, well then, right? If they deny it, what are you going to do? Because we all know, people who commit crimes, they step right up and they admit to those crimes, right? Their own legal counsel, the commissioner's legal counsel, is telling them there was, quote, "reason to believe that violations occurred," and yet they refuse to do anything. These are the same jackasses who claim without a shred of evidence that the 2020 election was stolen from Trump. These are the same people who are whining and clutching their pearls over election integrity, but then they're completely unwilling to investigate members of their own party. So once again, complete and utter hypocrisy from the Republicans. And here's the issue I have with the Democrats. They refuse to fight fire with fire. As long as it isn't illegal, why are Democrats not running this same playbook? Why are they not trying to do the same thing to pull votes from Republican candidates? I guarantee you give Republicans a taste of their own medicine and watch how fast this ghost candidate BS is outlawed. It just pisses me off. Democrats are just such wimps so often. They literally can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. It just is infuriating. Just give it back to them. Like I said, as long as it's not illegal, go for it then. Go for it. If they're not going to stop and nobody's going to hold them accountable, just don't pay these people. Just don't pay them. And then you're scot-free, apparently. Anyway, I will let you know when I hear more, and I will definitely keep you updated on Artiles and his upcoming trial, and then the other trials that are coming up for other people who were involved. But yeah, just another nightmare out of Margaritaville. All right, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe to the channel. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.